And welcome back to the Crochet Crowd. This is video number 2 of the Aran Toggle Wrap. Last time I left you, you finished off on row number 18. Well, maybe you should have. And what you need to do at this point is that we're going to continue. At the time of filming right now, I don't know how many rows I'm going to do, but I'll put that as the part of the video title of how many rows that we will do today. It is Sunday, it is Thanksgiving weekend here in Canada, and it is the second week of October. For this particular video, you're going to need a stitch marker, and we're going to continue the journey. The stitch marker will be placed in row number 19, and then we're going to continue to work our way through here. So without further ado, one question came in. Somebody wants to change the bobbles out to something else. I don't want to suggest anything because I've not crocheted this full sample already. I don't know what the tension is going to be if you start changing up the stitches to something different, so it can change the way that it's flexing, and that's something that I don't want to really get involved with. So because I don't want to ruin it. So let's start with row number 19 next. So this is the end of row number 18. I am starting here. Row number 19 is a wrong side, and if you recall, so if you look at your stitch marker here, this is continuing over, so it's on the wrong side, which is great. So what we're going to do in this row here is that we're going to chain 1, and we're just going to single crochet ourselves all the way across, and including that first one here. And my goal is at the end of this row, which I'm going to ask you to do right now, is that on the 74th stitch over from this side, I want you to put in a stitch marker, and I'll show you that in just a few seconds from now. But just single crochet across, and then we'll place our stitch marker, and we'll continue along. I've come all the way across, and I verified that there's 148 single crochet, so I'm verifying that I'm back to where I need to be. So I was always at 148 stitches, but I wanted to make sure. So now we're going to go back to where we started the row, and you're going to count to the 74th stitch, and I'll meet you there, and grab your stitch marker and be ready. So I'm at the 74th one right here. So I'm going to stick in, it's this stitch right here, and I'm going to stick in like this. Then just grab the yarn, loop it, and pull it through. And so this is going to be representing the shoulder. So I can see it here, it's on the wrong side, and you'll also be able to see it on the right hand side as well. Let's move on to row number 20. So row number 20 has an interesting instruction, and when I'm looking at it, I'm thinking that the way that they're having us do it changes the direction at the shoulder point, which I just had you mark. But let's not panic yet, and let's just get ourselves there. And it says work all the way to the stitch marker, and then I'll pick you up then. So we're going to start with row number 20 by chaining 3, and that counts as a double crochet, and we're going to skip the first stitch out. You're going to double crochet into the next stitch. Okay, just like that. And then it states to skip the next 3 stitches, so 1, 2, 3, and treble into the 4th stitch away. And in the 3 that you skipped, you're going to start with the first one here, and you're going to double crochet in each one of those. Okay, so, and how did I know to go behind? Because I'm looking at the right side of the work. So if I was to put this treble in behind, then it would be on the back of the project. So repeat from the asterisk. So we're going to skip the next 3. So 1, 2, 3, and you're going to treble into the 4th. And then you're going to double crochet into the 3 that you skipped. So it says to do this all the way until you get to the shoulder marked with the stitch marker. So we're going to continue this, and so just repeat this set of instruction, and I'll be right back until the stitch marker, and I'll see you back here in a second. So I'm coming all the way across and skipping 3, going to the 4th, and do you see this is where the stitch marker was? So this is the last time we're going to do it like this, going across on row number 20. And then we're going to change the direction of the arrow stitch, and I believe they're doing this so that the arrow stitch looks like it's facing down, regardless if you're looking at the back or the front, by changing what we're about to do. So we're going to skip the next stitch out, and you're just going to go and do the next 3. So this is the other part of the instruction. And then we're going to cross over in front of the one you skipped and do a front post treble. Sorry, just do a treble. Okay, and this is changing the direction of the arrow stitch. And that counts as the one that's coming in here. So you're going to skip the next one and then go into the next 3. So this time you're skipping the first stitch out to leave space for the treble to go in, and then treble into the one. Did you get it? I'll show you one more time. So you skip the next one, double crochet in the next 3. And then treble into the next one. So please do this all the way across, and I'll see you at the end of the row, and just to show you how to finish, and I'll be right back. I'm coming up to the end of row number 20. If your math is right and you counted to make sure that you had 148 stitches, your last 2 stitches will just be a double crochet. Bada boom, bada bing. It's important on this particular project that you are keeping your stitch counts. So let's move on and turn over, and let's do row number 21. Now row 21, we are looking at the back of the project now, so we're about to duplicate what we just did to complete the arrow stitch. So the next arrows will come off like this, okay? So what we have to do is pay attention to that, and it's a little harder because it's on the back side, but it's not impossible. Let's begin. Chain 3, that's your double crochet to start, and then you're gonna double crochet in here. So now what you're going to do is you're gonna skip the first one and you're going to double crochet. See these double crochets? You're just gonna match it. So you're just skipping the first one. Okay, so you skip this one and then you did the next 3. Then to do that, you're gonna treble and you gotta flip it around and you gotta get that first one that's here. So if you just need to use your fingers and just kind of point it out where it is, it's right there. And it's a little awkward, and you're just going to double crochet, or sorry, treble crochet in there. Okay, so it's a little awkward at first. So the goal is that when you turn it around, that the arrow stitch will match each other. So now you are going to skip the next one and just do the 3 double crochets that you can see. And then treble into the one you skipped, which is right here. And just lean it forward and get it from behind. It's a lot easier to see this in person than it is on camera, I'm sure. Okay, so just take your time, make sure the stitches are in right. Remember, this thing is not a race. And if you're late for Christmas, a true friend will truly understand that. So skip the next one and double crochet the next 3. And then come into the one you skipped, which is right here. So I need you to go all the way to the stitch marker in the center, and then we're going to change direction of the arrow. And if you want to turn it around right now, you can clearly see that the arrow stitches are lining up. Please continue to the stitch marker. So I'm coming close to the stitch marker, which is the center, as you know it to be. So I'm just going to continue to do what I know up until that point. And then the arrow is going to change its direction. So you're just going to treble. And it does take getting a bit of getting used to. Now, this time we need to change the direction. So we're going to come into the one that has the arrow stitch here, the treble, and you're going to treble into that same stitch first. And then you were going to double crochet into the 3 that you skipped over. And when you double crochet, you got to stay in front of the work. So just push that treble to the other side of the work, okay? And get it out of your way so that you can keep these trebles on the back of the project. And just quickly check, make sure it makes sense, okay? So you're going to treble first. So you got to lay your treble in first, and then put in your double crochets in the double crochets on the front side here. And when I say front side, it's what you're looking at, not the front of the project. And let's quickly check again, make sure. And everything's looking good. So do this all the way to the end, and I'll show you how to finish off this row. If you're doing everything right, and by the time you get to the end, the last 2 stitches will be a double crochet. And this will complete row number 21. And when we turn around our work, we should be seeing the arrow stitch. So leave me a comment. Have you ever done the arrow stitch before? Is this your first time? And it's a really neat stitch. And in the center of it, when you have the stitch marker, the arrow stitch should be changing direction like it does. Neat. Let's begin row number 22. Number 22, just chain 3. And it says to skip the first double crochet. If you've not figured that out yet, it's the stitch that's coming out of, okay, the chain 3. I find that confusing in patterns, but this is an old pattern, so I do understand that. So starting in the very next stitch, just double crochet yourself all the way across. Do that, and I'll see you back here in just a moment to complete the next row. I'm coming to the end of row number 22. You will be doing number 22 again in the future, so there will be a time marker suggested when we get there. Okay, so this is the end. We're going to turn our work and begin number 23 and starting to do those bobbles. This is row number 23. 23 and 25 both have bobbles, but they're at different placements to make it look random. So as we begin number 23, you're going to chain 1 and you're going to single crochet in the first 2 stitches. So number 1 and this one. Okay, so when it says go in the first stitch, it means the first stitch, literally. And then just single crochet in the next one. It says to do a bobble. The bobbles, these are what people are suggesting to change. I'm not going to change anything. So we're just going to yarn over and just kind of keep things relatively loose and yarn over, pull through. And then once you pull through the loops like that, you are then going to pull through 2 loops and hold. You're going to yarn over again, and you're going to do this a total of 4 times. Pull through 2 and hold. So you will end up with 5 loops on the hook. This stitch naturally goes back, and because we're on the back side of the project, and you can tell that by the stitch marker, these will literally appear on the front of the project. Once you have all 5 there, yarn over, pull through everything, and chain 1 locks it. Keep in mind that the designer is saying that the chain 1 does not count as a stitch in the future, so make sure you don't do that. So to continue the pattern, the next 3 are going to be a single crochet, and that causes that to squat down and towards the front of the project itself. So you do the next 3 and then bobble again. So yarn over, going in, pull through 2 and hold, and do that a total of 4 times. And you will see 5 loops on the hook. Pull through all 5 and chain 1 locks it, and then single crochet the next 3. I need you to do this all the way to the end, and I'll meet you at the end of the row in just a few seconds. I'm coming up all the way to the end. The second last stitch, in keeping with the count, is a bobble. So we'll put 1 in there, and then we have that turning chain to worry about to do the last single crochet in this row. This is row number 23. So once you get that done, just single crochet in the last turning chain, go right into the chain work, not into a space, so that it doesn't stay open. You can turn it over and you can see the work now of your bobbles. And let's begin number 24. Let's begin to do row number 24. You're going to chain 3. And then remember what it said, that the chain 1 that locks everything is not a stitch. So you're going to go right here and you're going to double crochet. So that's the one that is part of your bobble. Now here's the next 3 single crochets. So you'll double crochet in each of those. And then you'll jump to the next bobble. Okay, and it's right here. And then the next 3 single crochets, and you're going to do this all the way across, just filling in all the stitch work as you know it. And I'll be right back at the end of the row. So I'm coming all the way across here on row number 24, just keeping in sync with the stitches. And then finally at the end. So we're going to start row number 25 in just a moment. We're going to turn our work and let's get ready for that. So row number 25, as I promised, is a bobble row again, but we're going to change the location of the bobble so that they're not in the same position. So we're going to chain up 1 and place 1 single crochet in the first 4 stitches. So 1, 2, 3, and 4, and then this is where you start your bobble. Okay, so you already know how to do it at this point, hopefully. And the bobbles are still spaced apart from each other with the 3 stitches once they're done. So chain 1 to lock it, and then the next 3, and then a bobble, and etc. And I'll see you at the end of the row, row number 25. So I'm coming up to the end of number 25, and I've just got in my bobble, and the last 3 stitches will be single crochet. Don't forget that that turning chain is a stitch, and go right into the chain itself, not into a space. You're going to turn our work, and we're going to repeat a set of instructions, and let's talk about that, and you'll do that on your own. So a couple observations. The bobbles kind of push out the edge, so if that's happening to you, don't panic. We'll worry about that later. This, when you do basket weave kind of concepts that you see here, this provides a lot of tension. This is why I don't want to change any stitches in this project because of this stitch here. Now, I need you for rows number 26, 27, 28, 29 to repeat rows number 22, 23, 24, and 25. So I'm going to ask you to please go back in the video. We have video chapters assigned in the video description. If you want to go back, you need to go back and redo rows number 22, 23, 24, and 25 and build it up so that you end up with 4 layers of these bobbles in the end. I'm going to do that off camera, and I'll meet you back here on row number 30 in just a few seconds. And I'm back, and I finished my rows number of 26 all the way to 29. So this was repeating rows number, what did it say? 22 to 25. So you can see that there's 4 sets of bobbles. We're now going to move on, and we're on row number 30 and 31. And all we need to do then is to, and I'll cover both at the same time here, 30 and 31, chain up 1 and apply 1 single crochet in each. Don't forget that on the top of those bobbles, you don't want to include that chain 1 as part of it, because then you'll end up screwing it up. So you got your bobble here, and then your 3, and then your bobble. So once you get to the other side, turn your work, chain 1, and single crochet yourself back. So please do rows number 30 and 31 now. So finishing up row number 31, I'm noticing that there's an omission of information in the pattern, and it's not necessarily wrong, but it's kind of left you to assume that you're to do a step that's not listed. So this is the end of number 31. So what I need to do is that I need to get myself prepared for rows number 32 and 33, and what is missing? If you look at the pattern, it says repeat 20 and 21, and 20 and 21 is that arrow stitch. But remember when we did the stitch marker, we need to do that again. So start from counting from the first section of when you started number 31 and go to the 74th stitch, place a stitch marker so that at least when you are doing the repeat then for the next 2 rows of 32 and 33, you actually have that in place so that you can keep an eye on it. So that's what I'd recommend that you do. So we're about to start rows number 32 and 33, which is a repeat of 20 and 21. If you just missed the exit of the last clip, when we go to start this, we're going to repeat the rows number 20 and 21, which is the arrow stitch. But I recommend, it doesn't say to do this in the pattern, but I recommend doing that center stitch marker at the 74th stitch. So when you go to turn around now, I want you to use the video chapters in the video description, and I want you to go back to row number 20 and 21 and redo that work. And this is the arrow stitch, and you're going to be placing it in here. So I'm gonna rely on you to do that, and when I see you back here in just a few seconds, we're gonna start row number 34 together. So please do number 32 and 33 by repeating row number 20 and 21, and use the video chapters to come back. And you can use the video chapters also to come back to the spot as well, as we'll be starting at number 34 next. So I'm now back, and I have my rows complete. So I have 2 sets of arrow stitches here. So was that good for you as it was for me? So we're gonna begin, and we're gonna start row number 34. And in 34, we're just gonna do what we already know, is that we are just gonna chain 1 and just do 1 single crochet across. So please do that, and meet me back here in just a moment, and we'll start number 35. I'm coming up to the end, and we're gonna do another row. Let's turn our work, and let's do row number 35. Row number 35, just chain 3, that counts as your first double crochet. So you're going to go into your next one and just double crochet yourself all the way back across. And I'll see you on row number 36 next. I've now just finished number 35. I've already turned my work and now I'm ready for 36, 37, and 38. Let's take a look at the instructions here. I want to finish off on the next page, not this page. So what I'm going to have you do, I'm going to put a link in the video description of video, and it will say video 1, and we'll have left and right hand as usual. And there will be the link directly to those videos. For row number 36, I need you to repeat row number 2, which is what we did up here. Okay. And then I need you to do number 3, which is what you did up here. These are in video number 1. And then I need you to repeat row number 2 then. So you're doing 3 rows of 2, 3, 2 in video number 1, but you're not done. So use the video descriptions there to be able to fast forward in the time markers there. Once you have those 3 done, we're going to come back and we're going to start on page number 2. And I want to just finish off right here. So we're going to shape the neck back. So we're only going to do a portion. This is row number 3 that you have here. And then rows number 40 through to 44, what we're going to do is that we're just going to be repeating rows 2 and 3, and it's just basically that seed stitch, and it's only going to be going across 7. And what I believe that we're doing is that we're shaping the back of the neck area. So without further ado, let's do that. And so go on now to video number 1, and then when you come back here, I want you to click on to the time marker that says row number 39, and that's where I'm going to pick you up after that. And I'll see you back here in a few minutes. So welcome back, and we're ready for row number 39. So make sure that you are ready to do that, and we're going to proceed on. So we're now going to page number 2 for row number 39, and we're going to work row number 3, which you already know from video 1. And now that you've established it, you probably don't have to go back. And you're only going to do only 70 stitches. So what I would consider doing if I were you, grab another stitch marker. Don't be cheap about those. So then count 70 stitches, put a stitch marker in so that when you at least do this, then you know that you can stop exactly on the right one. So I'm going to do that for myself. So just count 70 stitches and put a stitch marker. So I've now placed my stitch marker on the 70th one. So last time when we finished row number 38, we were actually doing row number 2 of the pattern. So now you're just going to start again, and this will be row number 3. Okay, so you just chain the one that I had suggested, and then you're just going to continue to alternate between the 2 stitches. So this is in the front, make it in the back, and you're only going to go until the 70th stitch, and I will see you there in just a few seconds from now. I'm now at the end. The 70th stitch is next. I'm going to make that as a half double crochet at the end. Okay, so it was a front post double crochet before I did that. So what I need you to do, and I'm just going to give you verbal instructions now, you're going to completely do this whole next section. You have 5 rows to do: 40, 41, 42, 43, and 44. So when you go to turn, you're just doing that whole mock seed stitch as you already know it to be, right? So you just chain up 1 and then half double crochet in the first one if you want to do it this way. And then see, this is on the back, so it has to come forward. So I need you to do the next 5 rows on your own. Do not fasten off at the end though. Keep on right to 44, and that's where we're going to finish today's tutorial, and we'll be bringing you next time. We will continue working on this together. So please do these 5 rows all the way to 44. Here we are at the end of row number 44. I have finished off, but I have not fastened off. Okay, so make sure that you do this. So you're going to have, this is the front area. This is coming around the back of your head. So we want to leave this. Now I'm leaving my stitch markers in place because it doesn't say to remove them, and I don't want to mistake that later. So just leave in your stitch markers. Let's have a good time. And we're going to continue our journey next time in the next video as we continue this stitch along together with you. This is the Aran Toggle Wrap with Yarnspirations.com.